I'm gonna start recording now. First and foremost, I missed you guys. I feel like I have been I have literally been in the middle of nowhere. Like last year, when I went home, Sarah was prepping for her show and she was trying to get us to do the meal plan with her for a week or two. I can't remember. And I was like ready to do it, but there's no grocery stores there. Like, and I'm not making that up. Like we had to drive 45 minutes to a grocery store. So there's no Wi-Fi. There's this is where I grew up. So that's what you can share with people when they say, well, I don't know anybody and I'm from the middle of nowhere and I'm from a small town. Well, oh, hey, me too. Probably can't beat me at that one. Graduated with 26 people in my class. Actually, my dad was telling me that the graduating class from my school this year only had 8 kids in it. And it's a public school. But we're in the middle of nowhere. We're mountain people. So I'm going to open it up by, sorry, I'm fighting a sinus infection, so I sound really funny. I'm going to open it up by asking you guys to do your shout outs. And then I'm going to let Jackie take the floor. And then I'll just share a little bit about the Snoop Group before we wrap up, because I know since I've been kind of out for a while, it's just I haven't been sharing things with you as well as I normally would. So I apologize for that. But feel free to make any shout outs if you, I want to shout out everybody because you guys killed it, even though I was struggling to check in and stuff. The team page was rocking. And when people had questions, someone was always there to answer, which is exactly what we want. We're a team. Any shout out?
I want to shout out everybody that is in my little boot camp bingo challenge group. And there's so many and I'm kind of blanking, but I've been kind of out of touch a little bit this week. There's been a lot going on and they have just been so freaking awesome, keeping everything rolling and, answering people's questions just like you said. And it's awesome that we have such a great team. And being a hobby coach, I'm only, able to check in a little bit, but, they've just been awesome. So I just wanted to thank all of them.
Just another testament as to why we do things together. Lindsay Kennedy said in the comments that she would like to shout out Lindsay Wythe because she's been killing it since Summit and she just loves her energy. And that is so true. If someone is showing up every day, it's Lindsay. She's doing a killer job. And she's gone above and beyond with her live videos too. She's really, really doing a good job. Was there anyone else that wanted to? Go ahead.
I could probably. Hi, my name's Lisa. I'm new. I just started coaching yesterday, and I just started the lift program. So this is all completely new to me. This is my first video with you guys too. So I'm just gonna probably mute myself after this and just try to absorb everything you guys are saying.
That's perfect. You don't have to mute yourself. That's not what I'm saying, but in the beginning, it can be really overwhelming and it's really good to just absorb. And then I know Andrea's your coach and Andrea's amazing. And yeah. I'm Andrea's coach. So if you ever need any support or have any questions, ask her or pop into the team page. And if you start to feel overwhelmed, check in with her.
Awesome. Will do. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Was there anyone else that I thought I saw?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I wanted to shout out Lisa for helping me with the 2B mindset this week. We've I think both groups have kind of experienced some crickets recently where it's summer and it's a couple months in and we've been talking about how to get it going and energetic again. But she's been helping me with posting check-ins for trackers each night this week. And we haven't had great participation, but still it was a really big help for her to do that. So thank you. And then I also want to shout out Anna because she reached out to me and we had a long conversation about just some struggles that she was having and trying to figure out the direction she wanted to go with coaching. And she was gracious enough to hear me out and to give me the chance to try to help her, rather than a lot of people when they get overwhelmed, they just quit. Like they kind of, they don't want to ask for help. They disappear a lot of times. Go with Daddy for 1 second. And so, okay. And so we actually met up and we had a really nice time together and everything. But on top of that, she's trying to figure out how to make coaching fit into her life and find that passion again. So I think we all kind of go through that at times with our business, and we get discouraged, and then we start to doubt everything that we've done up until that point. And so I just wanted to commend her for doing that, because we can be afraid of being judged for being honest about those feelings, but that's what we're here for as a team. So use it as an example if you're ever feeling that way, to reach out to, even if it's on an upline, a success partner or somebody that you trust, and just ask them for help. And that doesn't mean that you have to start putting in hours of work every day. This is something that you should enjoy, and I'm really proud of Anna for recognizing that she wasn't enjoying it and trying to figure out how to make it enjoyable again. Love you, Anna.
I was going to ask, would you or Lisa be willing to go live in the team page one day this week and share what you're thinking about doing to spice up your mindset group? Ours is crickets too. So maybe it's something that could work in other challenge groups, not just a mindset group for all of us if we're experiencing that. By the way, I think people, business, like Beachbody wide, are experiencing that right now with their mindset groups. Because I was starting to feel really bad about it and started asking questions, and people are like, same thing's happening with us. So I think you're right. I think the season has a lot to do with it. I hadn't thought about that, but Andrea said, can we combine the groups? That might be something we think about doing. We can talk about it and revisit that. But I'm gonna if nobody else has any shout outs, I'll let Jackie.
Can I shout out?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna shout out, I think Jackie, Faith, and Christy are on here, but I'm also gonna shout out Melissa, Kara, Laura, and everyone that we do our challenge groups with. We're doing a sneak peek into our challenge group, and it's just a wild idea, and we're all running with it, and we're all supportive. So it kicks off tomorrow, and we're excited. It's just for people that are interested, don't really know what a challenge group is, or are participating in the 2-week free trial. So they're getting a little taste of our challenge group before they enter into our large challenge group, and we're excited about it.
That is awesome. I can't wait to hear about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually sending you a message right now on Facebook to say, will you do a team call on that? Because I don't want to forget. All right.
Hi, I have something to say. I've thought about quitting so many times this month completely, and every time I see one of your posts, Lindsay Gaines, I think this week you wrote something, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to quit, because I just related so much to your post. And I'm a teacher like you. I've got 2 big kids, but I have a 2-year-old. She'll be 2 this week. And you said something on your post, and I don't even remember what you said, but it was like, oh my gosh, maybe, I don't know. It was just, it just struck a nerve with me, and I just connected so much with what you said, and I was like, you know what? You don't want to quit the people, this positivity, even though you don't make any money. And it's not like I'm trying, because I'm really not trying at all at this point, but just you and Sarah, who's my upline coach, I mean, everything you all post, I'm just drawn to, and I read every word of it. So thank you. Thank you for being that positive light that I need in my life at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you. And I'm so glad that you didn't quit. Jackie, take it away so I don't cry on camera.
Well, good evening, guys. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. We're all over hand, foot, and mouth over here, so that's a good sign. Okay, so until today, I'm going to be honest, I had no clue what I was going to talk about. I just knew I needed to sign up for a team call because I needed to do it. And today I thought about doing sharing your story, because I know a lot of people are really great at posting their sweaty selfies. They're good at posting their nutrition. They're good at posting things that they do with their life and their kids and their husbands and their families and their friends. But I know a lot of people struggle about sharing their story because it is the most vulnerable piece of what we do. And I'm not going to lie, like, I'm one of those people, more so on video than on posts. Although I don't think I'm a really great word person with posts, but I'm working on it. But I will say I've done a couple live videos. Actually, I think my first one was a YouTube video before live videos were even invented. This was like 3 years ago on my story. But anyway, so one thing that really popped in my mind was Summit 2 years ago. So it was 2016. Billy Haynes and I were chosen to do like a leadership talk at this Team Courage training we had before Summit started. And I think it was before that, we had this guy called David Scott Mann do a training. And it was really good. And one of the things that stuck out to me was it was called Rooftop Training, and it was Rooftop Leadership. And he was talking about sharing your story and leaving your tracks. And one thing that we had to do was share a struggling moment story. And we basically were given, I don't know, Lindsay, what was it, like 5 minutes or less or something like that, to write it down. And it's really hard, actually, to write it all down in like 5 minutes or less. I think it was maybe even 3 minutes for all I know. And here I have it right here. Wrote it all down. And for those of you that are new or don't really know a whole lot of my story, I went through a divorce like 5.5 years ago. And it was a really rough time for me because it was a divorce that was not wanted on my end. And so that was my struggling moment story. And I think I was in a group with Mindy and maybe Erica. I don't know. It was 3, because we then had to like share our story with someone we were sitting next to and basically read it. And like everyone in the room is like crying, of course. But like, that's the vulnerable part of sharing your story. Like, you don't obviously want to make people cry, but like, you want people to feel you and you want people to relate to you, and you want to communicate that in a way that's easy for you. Now, I understand videos is like not everyone's forte, because trust me, it is really not mine either, but it is true. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And even though I don't do it very often, the few times I have been making it easier for me. I mean, I freaking did 20 minutes on sleep training on Friday, okay? So it's really important to share your story. Now, I'm not saying share your whole life story in one video, because that is not what I'm saying, because that would probably take you like 7 hours. You want to share bits and pieces. So like this piece was specifically on my divorce, and it wasn't even on, I don't even think it was on my whole divorce. It was like on a specific moment part of it. I think a year prior to that, I shared, I think it was about 10 minutes on YouTube, all on my divorce. And I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. I didn't want people to cry for me. Like, I wanted people to know and to relate. And for those that maybe were going through the same thing, like, could have someone to lean on or talk to, or be like, oh, I'm not the only one going through that. If you knew me last year, I think it was in the spring, I did a live, it wasn't a live video. It was a post on, it was a very vulnerable post. And it was a post that I was afraid to do because of my mom. She was the only reason why I wasn't sure I was going to share it. And it was about getting sexually abused as a child. And my mom didn't talk to me for 3 weeks because I did it. But I did it anyway, because for me, like, it's not an obstacle in my life anymore, but I knew it's an obstacle in plenty of people's lives out there. And do you know how many people messaged me within the next day or two? Like some of you messaged me, whether it was something they could relate to or not, like people I hadn't talked to in years, and people that I didn't even ever know that went through that same thing were telling me about their problems. And I know has nothing to do with fitness, but it's connecting with people. Like being vulnerable like that, you're connecting with others, you're being real, you are not being fake whatsoever, and you're sharing your bits and your pieces. I talk about the struggles I have with my twins. I mean, like, people judge. I wouldn't say judge. I guess people think that a lot of people think that twin life, most of my people think, oh, it's easy. Definitely not. People think, oh, why don't you go to bed earlier? Oh, why don't you try putting twins to bed by yourself? You know what I mean? Like, it's not easy. My husband and I, Ryan, had both of our moms not on board for sleep training. And his mom was giving him a hard time for a while. And like, I try not to share too much to offend others, but at the same time, like, our goal is not to offend anybody. Our goal is to help other people. And if other people can't understand that, I'm at the point, like, who freaking cares? You know what? You do what you got to do for you. And if they don't understand that your intentions are real and they're not meant to hurt anybody, and if you're honestly not offending anyone, especially purposefully, like, you just got to bite the bullet and do it. Now, I'm not saying to write a 7-page essay as a post either. That goes along with a 7-hour video. You want to do it in pieces, so small things. And the two people that come to mind that do it actually there's probably 3 people that come to mind that do it wonderfully are Lindsay Gaines, Erica Tahanika, and Christy Lockhart. All 3 of them are really great at posting. And I'm working on it, and I'm sure there's a lot of others that are really good, but those are the 3 that come to my mind right now. And I try to follow people that are really good at doing the typing posts. And I don't want to copy what they're doing, but I want to kind of look at how they're presenting their pieces of their story and see how I can do the same. Because it's not easy. And I know for me, I'm not a writer, and when I write, like, I blab, and I could write my story for like ever. And you don't want people to blab because you don't want people to stop reading what you wrote. I mean, you're putting time and effort into this post. You don't want people to be like, yeah, this is not interesting at all, and move on. Same with a video. My sleep training video, yeah, it was 20 minutes long, but I think it was fairly helpful. It actually had like 10 people on at one point. So certain topics might be okay, but like sharing your story, people aren't going to want to listen to your story probably for 20 minutes, unless you're maybe Melanie Mitro. Then maybe you will sit and listen to her story for 20 minutes. But unfortunately, none of us are quite up to Melanie Mitro yet. But maybe we'll get there. So my advice to you, and I know a lot of you struggle with this, and not because I've talked to you about it, but because I follow all, if not most of you. I mean, it's really hard to follow everybody because our team is so big. Even though we're half the size of Evolve, we're still big. It's hard to follow everybody, but I know the sharing story piece is the hardest part. And you just got to do it. Think of things, write things down that have influenced your life, good or bad. You know, for me, like, being sexually abused as a child was one of them. But I also like to talk about the struggles I've had with my fitness journey, which, how many people have struggles in their fitness and health journey? Like, pretty much everybody. How many people are obese in America? Talk about the struggles you have with parenting. I know I watch and read Erica's posts all the time, the struggles that she has with Cole. And like, people relate to that because who's a perfect parent? Like nobody's a perfect parent. And sometimes you just want to kill your kid. You really don't want to kill your kid, but you know, you're frustrated and you feel like, oh my God, why aren't you stop crying? Like that's us sometimes, just being real. You know, and then share the ups of your life. Like when Ryan and I got married, like I shared that on and on because that was such like a blessing in my life, especially coming from that awful divorce I went through. I don't know. I'm struggling with my words here, but here, this is something I wanted to share that I wrote down from that training. So he said, tell your story in the form of a narrative, which was what I did in my book. And actually, when I did my live video, I actually read it exactly from this because I knew I was going to forget things, and that's how I roll sometimes. So I just read it from here, and people didn't really seem to care. I think it had like quite a number of views. Deliver your message as a powerful story. When a great story is told, we hear it autobiographically. Oh my God, is that even a word? Autobiographically. There we go. If you talk about things that matter to you, you make yourself relatable. So like what I just said, like if it doesn't matter to you and it has nothing to do with you and your life, like it's not going to come from the heart, and people aren't going to care about reading it. They want to feel you, and they can only feel you if you feel it yourself. The more detailed your story is, the more relatable you will be. Now, with that piece, yes, you want details, but you don't want details of a large story. You want details of a small story because, like I said, otherwise it'll probably be a book or a 25-minute video or longer. Every story has struggle, conflict, and resolution. And that was kind of what he wanted us to focus on with that. I mean, I'm not going to read my story to you because that's really not the purpose of this. I mean, if you really feel like reading my story, I can take a picture of it if you'd like and post it on the team page. But yeah, that's basically like you're writing you. You're being real with you. You're being real with other people. People will relate to it, and you will honestly be shocked at how many people will come to you just to like, and not to necessarily give you sympathy or like jump up and down, but just say thank you or say, I'm really glad you did that because now I'm going to do this. And when you're relatable with people, when you're vulnerable, that's when the connections and that's when the trust forms, and that's when you start seeing people wanting to join our community and trust you and trust in the process of what we're doing and want to be, not necessarily want to be like you, but want to be with you on this. So, yeah. I don't think I have anything else to say. Was there any questions? I wasn't even reading the comments. I'm doing great. Oh, thank you. Dragging. Go ahead. Sorry, Lindsay.
No, I was just saying you did awesome. I think that it's really important for people to remember we're not just a sweaty selfie. Like that's not just what this business is about.
Yeah, and I know I struggle with that because it's the easiest part of our job. If you're working out and you're eating well, and granted, I know we all don't eat well and work out every single day 100% of the time, but that is the easiest part to share. The hardest part to share is vulnerability, and you just need to be real. You just need to do it. And if you're struggling if you're struggling and you're not sure about your post or you're not sure about your piece of your story, if you think it's too long, like share it with your success partner, share it with your coach, like share it with anybody, just copy and paste. Can you read this? Is this too long? Is this too much? Like, do I need to zoom it in a little bit more? I mean, anyone's willing to help out. I mean, we're a family, guys.
Yeah. You could even post it in the team page and get various feedback.
Yep, you can do that too.
It's a good idea. I was just looking, Sarah was saying it's hard when not to drag loved ones in. So that's something like when I was just
everyone struggles with that.
Yeah, it's so hard because like I was just home and my mom had done really well for a while and she's back at a really unhealthy place again. And she has thyroid issues and she's like pre-diabetic. And I took the trash out for them and I found all these Slim Fast bottles in her trash. And I was like, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to give her a hard time about it. But she's got half a freaking container of Shakeology sitting on her counter. And I would buy her Shakeology. I would pay for it if she would drink it. And then while we were camping, she made a comment about how she's got to go on a diet when she gets home because her clothes are getting tight. And I was like, Mom, why don't you let me help you? And she's like, well, I can't spend money, Lindsay. And like, it just kills me that I'm here. Like, the reason why I am so passionate about this is because I know that's my family. Like, that's my genetics. Both my parents are like that. Their parents are, well, my Mimi's not, but my mom's parents were like that. My mom's mom passed away of a heart attack because of her size and health. But I can't make a post about that because that's my mom, and that would crush her. It's hard.
I could totally relate to that because my sister's the same way. She actually used to be thinner than me for years, and then all of a sudden, if I were to guess, she's gained 50 or 60 pounds over the last 5 years, and she's joined me and bought things, but she never sticks with it. She's good for like a week, and then she's done. And there's that fine line where you don't want to cross the family line, and you don't. And my mom tells me, I'll talk to your sister. I'm like, she doesn't listen to me, and like I can't talk to her in a way like I could talk to other people. Like, your family's different. And posting about your family is different too. I mean, it took me months to post about getting sexually abused as a child because of my mom. Not even because of me, but because I knew my mom would be pissed. And she was. But she got over it.
So I'm just looking at the comments, and it looks like there's so many of us that have family that, like, that's so crazy, isn't it? Look at how successful we are in this business and as, like, our rank and, like, all that stuff. And most of us don't really have family that's on board.
Did I warn her first, Jackie? I did not. She told me I should have. And I honestly, and I talked to Mindy heavily about it. I think I talked to Erica too, because I know Erica's had a lot of issues posting about her mom. For those of you that don't know, she doesn't have the greatest relationship with her mom. So like sometimes when she does post about her mom, she's like always hesitant and wants to like not have her see it. And I knew if I did that, like it would still get back to my mom somehow, because I'm friends with so many people that my mom knows or is related to. So I just, I was like, you know what? It happened to me. It didn't happen to my mom. Yes, I was 7 or 8 years old. But the problem was, for those of you that don't know the story, the gist of it was my aunt's husband, now ex-husband, and he's not even alive anymore. And because it was family, and she like, I almost felt like she was embarrassed, but like, what's there to be embarrassed about? Like, I'm totally fine about it. I'm trying to reach other people about it. So she made me promise that if I were to do something like that again, to give her a heads up. But to me, it's like, it's my story. It's not yours. That was my feel on it.
Sarah, I've thought about that too, about blocking, but then I worry like one of her friends that's friends with me will see it.
Yep, that was exactly my fear. And then that would come back even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, really. If she went to look for it and she couldn't see it.
Yeah, it would have been bad.
Lindsay. Alrighty. Are there any other questions or anything about storytelling? Jackie, that was awesome. That was so good. We all need it.
Thanks. That was totally on a whim. Like, I don't even have notes.
You did great.
Thanks.
You did really good. All right. So could you share some more of your notes?
Well, the only notes I have are from that Team Courage training. I could share that. If you like, and if you want to share them in the team story I wrote, like I'd be more than happy to share it with you guys. It's like a little over a page long in this Team Evolved notebook I have here, but yeah, I can do that.
Awesome. A few things about the Snoop Group. I'm calling it a Snoop Group because I heard that from the training from Super Saturday, and I love it. I think it's so cool. Like, it's so much more us than saying sneak peek or something, because we're quirky like that, and Snoop Group is cool. So that's why I decided to run with it. But then I also was talking to my success partners, and we have tried to do our glance groups all sorts of different ways. I don't know if you guys, some of you have been around long enough where we used to have them be like a week long, where there was one post a day. And then we had them, I love Ashley Smith too, Christy. For any moms out there that, Caitlin, do you not like her? I saw your face.
No, I love her. She just posts so much.
She does way too many stories. Like when I see like 500 little dots up there. I'm like, girl, what do you do? Like, is that all you do all day?
Well, I think someone asked her that, one of her asked me a question, and because I was like, oh my God, she posts all the time. Well, I think she actually saves all of her stories to keep, because a lot of them are of her kids. And so she kind of keeps them as snapshots of cool things that they do throughout the day. So
okay.
I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt there because she does post a lot about her kids. But anyway, I love her. Okay, goodbye.
I do too. I was like following her like a hawk while they were over in France. Sorry, I'm stepping on my backpack. I have thought a lot about what we used to do and what we do now. And I think what we do now is wonderful, but we were chatting about it and kind of just brainstorming about it. And we came up with some ideas of making sure that even if someone doesn't watch the whole video, because like Jackie just said, if your video is more than 4 or 5 minutes long, some people tune out. People will be on for the first 3 minutes and then they're like, the pot's boiling over. So they turn it off and they never go back to it, So Christy had a really good idea to have bullet points in the caption of the videos to make sure that even if someone doesn't watch the video, they're still getting something out of it by reading the caption. And I loved that idea. But then I was talking to them some more, and Anna mentioned, and I completely agreed with Anna, that sometimes when you're sharing information, like statistics and things like that, it's just much easier to digest in a graphic or in text than it is in a video. So we kind of agreed that the videos are wonderful for storytelling, not necessarily conducive to informing all the time about everything anyway. So what I've done, I'm going to pull it up so you're not going to see me looking at the camera for a minute. I'm going to be looking at this just so I can tell you exactly what I've done. I've got 6 posts, I believe. Yes, 6. Each of them is a post, and I'm going to make a graphic. I'm going to do all this tonight, so I'm going to share it in the team page before I go to bed, because I know that I have not, this should have been done already, and I'm not making excuses, so I'm getting it done. But my first post is just a welcome post, and it's probably going to go up the day before, the night before, and it's just kind of letting them know this is what this group is going to be. This is what you can expect. Make sure your notifications are on so that you can see everything. And then I'm asking them to do what we have them do in our challenge groups. I'm asking them to comment below, sharing a little bit about themselves, and even sharing a picture if they feel led. So I want you guys to make sure that in that welcome post, you're doing that. In that post, you might say, I've been coaching for this long, or I've lost this much weight on my coaching journey, or that kind of thing. Share a little testimony about your coaching experience in that post. The second post is a little bit about team grit and grace, because not every team is this cool. So I want them to know that up front. I kind of just tell them, like, we're a family. We are a special team. We're friends before we're business partners. And I share some of the things that people have done, like making Christmas happen for our kids, having baby showers, bachelorette parties, all sorts of things that we've done for each other that I think is really important. And then I also share that we're a 2017 elite team. I share what that means in small terms, and then let them know that we're on track to do it again this year. And then I let them know what that means for them. Essentially, they can't fail if they show up. Then at 10 a.m., we have our first video going, and it's Anna. It's 10 a.m. Central Time. So, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Central Time. Anna's going to be sharing about fears and hesitations, and she's going to be talking about how she makes this business work as a working mom, because that's one of the biggest fears and hesitations people have when they get started. Then I've got another post about how we're not salespeople and how we tell our story and just kind of share. Then at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Kate Stackhouse is going to go live. And I think you guys are aware of this, but Kate has a really cool story where she actually signed me up as a coach, and then I don't know how long we coached together before she quit. And I hate to say the word quit, but she gave it up. And she had a family during that time, and there were just other things going on in her life that she had to tend to. And then she came back to coaching. And I think that's really special. I think that's really important for people to understand. Like, even though this was something she had to give up for a small period of time, it's not something she was willing to give up forever because she sees the value in it. So she's sharing why she came back to coaching, and she's talking about how it's a lifestyle, but it's also a business, and how she wishes she hadn't really taken the break, but she's back, and this is why. Then I've got another post about how they can sign up. I've got another post, and I tell them about discount coach, hobby coach, business-minded coach. There's a post about the requirements of coaching, because that's always a question. I know, like, if you're a Mary Kay consultant, you have to spend so much of your own money on product each quarter and things like that. So I always make sure to try to let people know that up front, because if they have any experience with another MLM, they have that taste in their mouth. At 8 p.m. Central Time, so 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Christy is going to go live in the group sharing why you should be a coach. So she's going to share her why, how it's benefited her, how it's impacting her family, and that kind of thing. And in the caption, I made sure to point out to them, you don't have to be a gym rat. You don't have to be a certain size. You don't have to be at the end of your journey before you can start. We're all here to share our story from wherever we are. And then I have a what if post kind of sharing, like, what if you sign up? What could happen? Like, you could change your life, even if you don't change anybody else's. Or you could change your best friend's life. You could help them get over depression or something. Maybe something you don't even know is going on in their life. So what I did is I took the content that we try to share in 6 videos, and we're only sharing 3 videos, and I've got 6 posts for people to read. And I'm at the end of every post, I'm asking a question, hoping that they're going to start interacting as well, because I noticed on the videos some people were not really asking questions or comfortable commenting, and I really want to encourage that. I really want them to have this idea that if I don't understand something, this is a free space. This is okay to ask. When I shared about the Snoop Group on my personal page, I let them know, if you just want to snoop, come on in. Like, that's fine with me. There's no expectation. There's no pressure. There's no nothing. If you just want to know what I'm up to, come on. Because honestly, I think if people see what we're up to, they're going to want some. We're special. This is an awesome team. And if they see what we get to do and call work, how could you not want some of this? Like, how could you not want to make your life better and have a business out of it? Like, that's so cool to me. I have not been seeing the comments. So is there anything that I need to see? No? Okay. But if you have any suggestions or ideas, the same people will not be doing videos every month. Maybe next month we'll do 4 videos. It'll kind of just be, I'm making a graphic as soon as we get off this call, Anna. I have been slack because I haven't had Wi-Fi. And again, no excuses. I could have gone somewhere and used Wi-Fi at McDonald's, but I didn't. But I will make it happen tonight so that it's in there tonight, and for those of you who are going to bed after this, early tomorrow morning, so that you have it to share. But yeah. Are there any questions about that? I want you to start sharing about it. I want you, like, those of you that are new coaches, this is a golden opportunity for you to say, hey, friend, I'm doing this thing, and it would really help me if you would do it with me. Would you join me for this? Because it's scary sometimes to do things alone. And I think if you and your friend come in it together, you could be that much more successful. If there's no questions, I won't take up anybody else's time, any more of your time than we already have. And I'll stop recording.